Welcome everybody. This is going to be a quick little video, hopefully. I'm going to try to make it fairly short, quick, but informative on how to make a USB power supply, or technically you can make other voltages if you need them. A couple different ways. You can use a regular old-fashioned computer tower power supply. Now these normally output 12 volts, 5 volts, and like 3.3 or something like that volts. But that's not always what you need. So one option you have is to use a step-down converter. These are pretty cheap, 10 bucks or something on Amazon. Basically what they do is they take power in, and they'll be rated usually something like 30 volts or something like that. And then this one is adjustable, and you just connect wires to the output, and you turn these little screws, and you basically just put a meter on the output and adjust the voltage down to whatever you need. So this goes high voltage down to low voltage. Could be 12 volts, could be 5 volts, 9 volts, whatever you need. This one I believe is rated for 20 amps, but these are pretty handy. I got a couple ideas for showing how these work and what they can do. Got some nice big heat sinks on there, so they should hopefully last. But anyway, to get into it a little bit more, like I mentioned, the power supplies have 12 volts, 5 volts. That's the most common that we're going to need. And they will have the ratings on here. This is a Powmax 400 watt, it says. I don't believe that, but, and it'll be listed the output here. 5 volts, 25 amps, 12 volts, 28 amps, and whereas 3.3 volts is, oh sorry, that was 28 amps. 12 amps is 25, 5 is 30. So 5 amps at 30 amps, or 5 volts at 30 amps. So technically this could power, whatever that would be, 6 Raspberry Pi 5s or something like that. I wouldn't trust it. Don't go by those numbers. This is not that great of a unit. But what you can do basically is use it to run stuff. So, normally if you have never opened a computer, this will be your big cable. Now to run this for what we need a little jumper wire here in place of the power switch. Basically just goes from the green to a black, any of these black, so green to ground, and then you just have the switch on the back of it, turn it on and off. Now on this one and most ATX power supplies, red is going to be your 5 volts, black will be your ground, yellow is going to be your 12 volts. All the rest do other stuff, but basically these Molex connectors, 12 volts, ground, 5 volts. So there's a couple ways we can do this. I use these EXT60 connectors and made an adapter. I just pulled this one straight off, cut one of the plugs off, or the wires out of that plug. And this is what they are. EXT60, supposedly rated for 60 amps. And they are marked plus and minus on there. So you just need to put a little solder on there, heat it up so it's on there, both ends. So when you stick your wire on there and solder it, it'll work good. So I just made a little adapter to go from the EXT60 to this USB-C, and a Molex to a couple of USB, and I also just threw a USB-C on here too. So if you've never worked with any of these, so again we're doing red, which is 5 volts, and black, positive, negative. And see if I can show it to you. Okay, this is the orientation of the USB port, USB-A. Okay, solid parts on the bottom, open parts on the top. This side is positive, this side is negative. So what I did is just jumpered the 2 ports, and then the same for the USB-C. And we can check that. With a tester that I just plugged in. And if you can see, showing 4.8, and this, like I said, this power supply is kind of junky. Sometimes it shows 5, sometimes 4.8, 4.9. Anyway, you get the idea. So, these EXT60 connectors also come in a panel mount, so they're pretty heavy duty and they work better than a lot of other connectors. The most important thing is you keep your polarity correct and get your positive and your negative. If you haven't done this before, you can use a meter. Right now this is on the continuity or the diode checker. This one actually has a little speaker symbol so that when you short it, it beeps and tells you. So we can put it on here. We get a good solid connection so we know it's connected correctly. And you can also check that it's not connected correctly or wired correctly. Make sure you don't have your positive going to the ground, the negative case. That's always the same. Make sure you don't have any other pins shorted or anything like that. Just use your tester on that scale. Sometimes it'll look like the ohm or the upside down U kind of symbol on some meters, just depending on what you have. So again, you're checking continuity. Make sure power is going where you want it to before you plug anything in. I only damaged like 6 Samsung S23s working on this, so no big deal. Just kidding. If you don't know what those are like $1,500 cell phones. So, like I mentioned, these are some USB-C connectors. You get male and female. You can buy just a male, just a female, whatever you need. They'll have positive and negative marked on there by a V for voltage, and ground. It's a little hard to see, but, and then on these, the other one is not really marked very well, so it's real hard. But you can put them together and you can see which ones match up using your continuity. This is what they look like. Soldering is a little bit of a pain because it's so small. put some flux on there. If you've never soldered before, get some flux, put it on everything, and you want to pre-tin it, the wire and everything. That's what it's called. There's lots of videos and stuff you can learn how to do that. This adapter here, I took the wires out. This is what it looks like. It's really hard to see, but there's just a couple of barbs, not easy to basically go down in there with a sharp pick and try to push it. Real pain, but you can buy them all too if you want. Another example is I found this when I was digging around for parts. So this is like an old USB drop-in card. So I think I might do a 4-port. So essentially I'll just cut this off here. And this is probably a USB 1 or 2. I don't know. So I don't need it. And basically just figure out and run a wire between all the connections there. This will probably be a little easier. Basically it's the 2 outside ones. And then just connect that to, you know, however you want to connect it to your adapter. Okay, so I just got some hot melt glue on there, kind of sealed it all up, stuck the USB-C port on top of there. Everything plugs in and out, works good. Nice little adapter that allows you to real easily plug in to, like I mentioned, any of the Molex connectors on a power supply, or you can use the other one and go direct to the 5 volts. The other option you have is something like this, which is a barrel jack, and then it just goes to wire terminals. So you could you know, just connect that. It'd be fairly easy too, but you still have to, you know, put some kind of jack on. Just in case you want to find these are real handy. This is the same size as lots of the small device, like 12-volt power supplies, etc., routers, switches, stuff like that. It is 2.1 millimeter by 5.5. 2.1 millimeter by 5.5 barrel jack. They come in male and female, little pigtails, all kinds of different options. The other size that's common is 1.35 millimeter by 3.5 millimeter. I don't have one here, but that's used for like the not this, but if you have like a USB hub and there's a little jack on it, that's usually 1.35 millimeter by 3.5. Like I said, I got all these parts kind of just laying around from years and years of stuff, so I'm gonna cannibalize this probably and make a little power splitter kind of unit. So hope I helped you gain a little bit of info. Use your old power supplies. Steal someone's old computer. Okay, don't steal. USB-C, these are all available on Amazon or eBay or wherever. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll leave the jack information down there so you can reference that. EXT60s, also on Amazon. Hope it helped you. Catch you later.